Less funding from the state is putting pressure on cities to increase local taxes. And tomorrow, taxes are going up in Grand Forks, but how you pay will be up to voters. However, some say the city isn't being straightforward with what voting down a sales tax will actually cost. Valley News Team's Ryan Laughlin digs into how much the higher taxes could be costing you.
I'm disappointed in the lack of transparency.
There is no way around it. We have to have drinking water. We have to provide it for our community, and we have to pay for it. That's all there is to it.
Construction is already underway for a new water treatment plant, but the funds for the estimated $150 million project haven't been fully secured. The city will be on the hook for at least half of the funding and maybe more. The city wants to pass a 0.5% sales tax increase to pay for the water treatment plant and for road projects. So that means every time you spend $100, the city wants to squeeze out 50 cents. They say that 50 cents will lead to $5 million a year to pay for these projects. But if the vote fails, like it did last year, the city will still raise taxes.
Water utility rates will go up 39 to 40% over the next 6 years.
They either don't know the numbers or they know them and aren't telling us, and either one is not good to build trust.
On a windy day, Marhula checks out the progress on the water plant. He says the city is stretching the facts about how much voting down the tax will cost you.
They say you're going to save $100 a year. That's not true.
In a fact-checking article by the Grand Forks Herald, they take the city at its word when the city says the average water usage is around 6,000 gallons a month, in which case people would save $100. However, the math checks out differently. Marhula says the average water usage is less than 4,000 gallons.
They are exaggerating it by 50%. You look at their numbers.
Vote no and pay more when you use water, or vote yes and pay whenever you make a purchase. Polls open tomorrow. Grand Forks, Ryan Laughlin, Valley News Live.
Tomorrow, the only polling location is at the Alerus Center. Polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. We're starting our week with on and off flurries and wondering if we'll see more snow this evening. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Hutch?
Well, as that live tower cam just showed, it is flaky here in the Fargo area. Radar shows a band basically along the Interstate 94 corridor, Highway 10 corridor, moving to the southeast right now. So we are going to see a period of some light snow with light accumulations, but certainly certain spots in town will become slippery. Notice there's still quite a few flakes to the northwest of the FM area that will be moving through yet this evening as they dive southward. There's clearing going on up in the far north, and because of that, with calming winds, we're expecting very cold temperatures, particularly up there where we have significant snow on the ground. Here is a look at the DOT camera out near Castleton. Not too much of a reduction in visibility and nothing really sticking to the roads there yet. Lake Park on Highway 10, same story goes. Temperatures are going to get very cold tonight with clearing skies by around the midnight hour here in Fargo. We could be on our way to the single digits and, dare I say, sub-zero temperatures for many where there's piles of snow up north.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
Authorities are continuing to investigate the mass shooting on Sunday at a small Texas church, but now say the attack stemmed from a domestic incident. The gunman killed 26 people, wounded 20 others. Meg Oliver reports from Sutherland Springs, Texas.
FBI agents used metal detectors to comb through the murder scene outside the First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs, Texas. Authorities say 26-year-old Devin Kelly opened fire during services Sunday, killing more than 24 people.
There was a domestic situation going on within this family. The suspect's mother-in-law attended this church. We know that he had made threatening texts from him.
The victims range in age from 18 months to 77 years old. One of the victims was 14-year-old Annabelle Pomeroy, the daughter of the church's pastor, Frank Pomeroy. He and his wife were out of town when the massacre happened.
One thing that gives me a sliver of encouragement is the fact that Belle was surrounded yesterday by her church family that she loved fiercely.
Authorities say as Kelly left the church, a Good Samaritan who lives across the street exchanged gunfire, wounding Kelly before he drove off. The Good Samaritan then jumped in a truck driven by Johnny Langendorf, and they gave chase.
And said he just shot at the church and said we have to get him. I said let's go, and that's what we did.
Investigators say during the chase, Kelly called his father, saying he had been shot and didn't think he was going to make it. When police caught up with him, he was dead. Investigators believe from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Kelly served in the Air Force but was court-martialed in 2012 on charges he assaulted his wife and child. He received a bad conduct discharge. Investigators recovered 3 weapons, the assault rifle at the scene, and 2 handguns from the suspect's vehicle. Meg Oliver, CBS News, Sutherland Springs, Texas.
Kelly worked as a night security guard at a Texas vacation resort. Fargo police are looking for 2 individuals who tried to get into Sight on Sound on Main Avenue by smashing a glass door. Police say it happened around 2:30 yesterday morning. If you know who they are because of the unique clothing they're wearing, police say you can remain anonymous and text a tip to 730-8888 or call and leave a message on the tip line at 241-5777. Minnesota is dealing with a deadly outbreak of tuberculosis, and state health officials say 6 of the 17 people who have contracted TB in Ramsey County have died. The outbreak has primarily affected elderly residents of the Hmong community, including a senior center, and more than 350 people at other senior centers need to be assessed for signs of infection. The state has used nearly $225,000 in emergency funds to limit the disease's spread. While tuberculosis isn't easy to catch, family and friends of those infected are more susceptible to the disease through repeated exposure. We've got more information about symptoms and treatment on our website, valleynewslive.com. A Moorhead boy with an extremely rare illness could soon lose access to a much-needed medication. Parker Burns suffers from the fatal disease Duchenne muscular dystrophy. He's been on an experimental drug for the past couple years, but the family has just received the devastating news that the FDA did not approve this treatment. Parker's family says the medication has helped him astronomically the past couple of years. He is as active as any other 10-year-old, but they fear what will happen without the treatment. The family has attempted reaching out to the FDA multiple times, but hasn't had much luck.
It is so incredibly infuriating that they're not listening to us. They're not listening to other muscular dystrophy families that this drug is helping.
Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer will have more in-depth tonight on Parker's story. That's at 10 o'clock. A hunter in southwestern Minnesota is recovering after being shot on opening day of deer season. The Redwood County Sheriff's Office says the shooting was reported late Saturday morning, halfway between Milroy and Tracy. Investigators say a hunter shooting at a deer hit another hunter beyond the deer. The wounded hunter was hit in the leg and was taken to a Tracy hospital with injuries that were not life-threatening. Authorities say everyone was wearing blaze orange clothing as required by law, and no one will be charged. It only takes one break for your home or business to be at risk, but not with a window film that's being put in around the valley. Sun Control window film showed us just how it works to protect your belongings. While the glass still breaks when hit with a hammer, the film protects it from being broken into. Police say windows can be a way for intruders to get into your home or to look inside for valuables. The company says they also install many frosted films to give homeowners the privacy they need. For more on this story, go over to valleynewslive.com. And remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day. A judge has ordered that former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort and his business partner Rick Gates will remain under house arrest. Manafort and Gates had asked to be released while they await trial on charges stemming from the Russia investigation. Both men have pleaded not guilty. The judge said she was inclined to eventually allow both men to leave their homes, but she noted that a condition of their release is going to be no international travel. The allegations center on money laundering and tax fraud and not on their roles in the presidential campaign. Manafort and Gates have been under house detention since last week. Your credit